Over the last 4 months, I've built over 20 voice agents for a variety of different niches, ranging from lawyers to dentists to contractors to real estate agents. And today I really wanted to make this video to share the real stuff that I've learned in this journey so far and the stuff I wish someone had told me earlier. You can see this is a conversational flow that someone had designed. And anyways, wasn't really working too great. It sounded robotic. And the client hit me up and it was like, hey, can you jump in and save this thing? We need it done in the next 3 days. It needs to be HIPAA compliant and it needs to be integrated with their software, Open Dental. And I'd done some previous work for them in the past. And so they wanted me to just provide my final touch on this project and to make it a little bit better. So I opened this up and I was just like, man, I got to be real with you. Like, this is honestly a complete mess. But to be honest, I see so many people make this mistake when starting to build voice agents. And pretty much I was like, we need to scrap this and we need to restart from the beginning. You can see here, this is my final voice agent, right? It's like literally the minimal amount of states that I can make it while still maintaining all of the functionality that they required. And that really leads me to my first big lesson, which is keep it simple, stupid. And like, no shade, I've been guilty on this too. When you're starting out, it's tempting to build these super custom, overly complex agents. But the more you complicate things, the more likely your stuff breaks. And clients don't really care about how fancy your backend is. All they care about is results. And simple systems equals scalable systems, period. And so as you start to scale and implement bigger projects and more projects, clients will want deliverables, they'll want timelines. And when I first started building voice agents, I was building everything from scratch every single time. And so at the start, it worked until it didn't. I hit a ceiling. I had onboarded 6 clients at once in the same week, which was a great week, but also a horrible week because I was absolutely drowning. I was working late nights and I was pretty much making the same changes across 6 different builds. This took a ton of my time. It didn't allow me to scale past 10K per month until I made this one change, which was building templates. Once I started creating templates and standardizing flows, it actually changed everything. They allow you to build faster, you could take on more work, and you could really start to productize your offering. And by doing that, you know how long it's going to take. You know what you're going to deliver, which means you know that you can take on more clients or you can't. And ultimately, it leads to more money. Now, a lot of the early agents that I built, they sounded super robotic. And you've probably experienced this at some point where the voice agent that you create will rattle off like 3 sentences in one breath. It's like no pause, no rhythm. It's just go, go, go. So the client's feedback that I got was like, hey, this is smart, but it doesn't sound really human. So I dug around and I found something called SSML, Speech Synthesis Markup Language. It's a way that you can prompt your agent so that it simulates natural language. And if you've ever heard your agent fire off full sentences very fast and it doesn't sound human, chances are it's because you're not using SSML. By incorporating brief pauses, natural pauses, emphasize transitions, this will allow the AI to sound more human and it'll simulate natural language, which brings us to point number 3, SSML. Using SSML to simulate natural speech. It's the key that makes your agent feel like it's having a conversation and not just reading everything aloud. Seriously, if your agent sounds robotic, it's probably because you're not using SSML. Now, one agent that we launched for an HVAC company, it was a outbound voice agent. And this HVAC company was spending probably around like 30 to 40K a month just on Facebook ads. And there was literally thousands of call recordings. And even though the call transcripts and the post-call analysis were being output to Google Sheets, it was almost impossible to improve or to iterate or to even know what the good calls were compared to the bad calls. And the only way to do it was to listen to the call recordings. And when you're an entrepreneur trying to build a business and you're one-man team trying to juggle everything, it just doesn't work and you don't have the time in the day to do it. So what we did is we built an additional post-call analyzer. It's basically an automation that's going to review every transcript and it's going to flag things like, did the agent not know an answer? Did it repeat itself? Did it successfully create the booking? And every week we would fine-tune the agent based on that feedback. And so this brings up the 4th key learning, which is feedback loops. Build feedback loops. Voice agents are not set and forget. The best ones learn. And honestly, the best builders create systems to help them learn. And so this is something that we now do on every single project where we create a set of parameters that we run the transcript through and then we output into clean categories so we can easily filter by those categories and identify good calls from the bad ones and then focus in on the bad ones to improve our agent over time. Now, this last point is pretty key as well. We built this voice agent for a real estate business. The client was super specific. They wanted the agent to follow an exact script word for word. At first, I was like, cool, this is going to keep things consistent. But when we went live, it was a mess. Like, the agent was too robotic. If the caller went off script even a little bit, the AI would give these canned responses that didn't make any sense. So that brings up my final point, which is don't force exact scripts. Instead, just use general guidelines, right? AI isn't like an appointment setter that needs to follow an exact script and memorize every line. It's better when you give it flexible instructions and then let it adapt to the situation. Instead of saying, say this exact sentence, I'll now prompt it like, politely introduce yourself, explain the offer in simple terms, and ask if they're interested, right? We really want to give the AI a compass, not a cage, and then iterate on it over time. So these are the 5 key learnings that I wanted to share with you today that really allowed me to scale past 10K per month. And if you are a business trying to implement these solutions for your company, feel free to book a call with me or join the No Code Nation. It's our free community. We're a top 250 tech community on School, and we got over 1.3 thousand active members in there. With that being said, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a great rest of your week. Peace.